Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Victory Business Forum in Arm of Celebration Church, Johannesburg. In the last few months, we have been looking at pathways to wealth creation. We have looked at quite a number of various ways that you can create wealth and preserve wealth. And today we are looking into a new pathway to wealth creation, which is cryptocurrencies. We are aware that there are different views and different perspectives to cryptocurrencies. Just like any new model of business, people are sometimes skeptical. But the critical thing is that we want to expose you. We want you to know what's there. We want you to be able to assess yourself. Somebody can say, you know what, I've made a lot of wealth through cryptocurrencies. Somebody will say, you know what, I love real estate. Others say, I love the stock exchange. But you find some people will say, you know, I can't stand real estate. Another one, they can't stand it, depending on your risk profile and the kind of things that you do. But so we are not asking everybody to say this is for you, but we are exposing, we are creating awareness so that you can exploit, you can study some more. We are not financial advisors who are registered. We are just creating awareness. So you need to be able to go and explore with advisors who are qualified when you want to get into this. But our role today is really to expose you to create an awareness and a knowledge of a new pathway towards wealth creation. So we are so excited, and today I'm very excited to have Mukupuli Ngube with me, and he has walked this journey before, and I'm going to welcome him and will ask him to just start by telling us about himself, and then you will give us a presentation, and then we can engage as we go along. So Mukupuli, so welcome. We're so excited to have you all the way from the mother city. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for availing your time. Welcome, man.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me and having the confidence on me. And so for me, my background, I actually studied in undergrad statistics and biochemistry and did my honors in operations research, which operations research is part of applied mathematics, but it combines computer science, statistics, and math together to try to, you are dealing with a world of imperfect information, and you try to utilize the constraints that you have to optimize decision making. So that's the approach that I'm from. And I got introduced to cryptocurrencies and the blockchain world actually slightly before I came to university. That was in 2013, towards the end of 2018, but my understanding wasn't there yet. I didn't have enough technical knowledge to actually grasp what was this new thing. And so later on, when I was in my honors, that's when cryptocurrencies came back again up. Like, that's when I started to engage with them more thoroughly and with better understanding. But then I was just doing small investments here and there to just understand how to hold and actually make money out of them. And ever since, I've been in the crypto space until now. And okay, I am still in the cryptocurrency space. And the biggest reason why I was drawn to this space, yes, it's easy investment for me onboarding, but also as a developer, I grew up in Zimbabwe, and what was interesting to me, 2008, when we had hyperinflation, where my foster mom had lost a lot of money from their savings account. A lot of people around lost a lot of money, pensions and everything like that. And what I noticed was that the government can just decide to say, well, we are converting all the current Zim dollars to US dollar at the exchange rate that we want. And that's kind of and also the restrictions that were placed on the citizens, where you can withdraw only $100 a day or something like that. Someone will travel from Makokoba to town, and then most of that is used on transport and small things. So it meant that you don't have custodian of your own money. So that drew me to cryptocurrency, because they are decentralized, permissionless, and it's easy to you don't need anyone to tell you, oh, you can't come and join, or you because of these things we don't allow you to be part of this. But because it's permissionless and decentralized, there are no gatekeepers. Yes, there are downsides to that, but also
sorry,
there's a lot of freedom.
Polly.
Yes.
Sorry, man. Sorry to interrupt. You have thrown in some interesting terms here. You are talking about decentralized. You are talking about permissionless. You are talking about gatekeepers. Would you like to just expand? I would assume that some of our readers, including myself, or some of our audience, including myself, may not be familiar with that terminology. So can you just expand to say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when we are talking about decentralized and permissionless, let's start with permissionless. They are at the current stage, when you have introduced cryptocurrencies, and in particular the blockchain space, there are these terms that you think when you are comparing cryptocurrencies and the traditional banking system, is that you have permission systems and permissionless systems. So you can still have cryptocurrencies that are permissioned. So I'll give an example. Facebook, or Mark Zuckerberg, was coming to create a cryptocurrency where big players in the industry like Uber, Facebook, and other Airbnb, they are the ones who validate transactions. So those are chosen. You can't just join in that space. And for you to utilize their wallet, you need to have certain access. So that is permission. You have someone else has to give you permission to utilize, just like the banking system here, where you, in order to bank, you need a permission to do so. So then with cryptocurrencies,
so what we are saying here is that it's for me to access cryptocurrency, I don't need an external person to say you are qualified. Just like I go to a bank, they'll say, hey, want to see your profile, want to see this, want to see this. Then they may choose to accept me or not to accept. But in terms of cryptocurrency, there's no such regulatory requirement where somebody will say you are not qualified.
That's exactly it. Because right now the problem will become when you're talking about undocumented immigrants, or even people in their own country that are undocumented. Let's talk, even if you're looking at right now what is happening in Ukraine. The government, because a lot of things are down, all systems are down, the government just posted on Twitter their cryptocurrency Bitcoin address, and people are donating to it. And that's that type of thing where you don't have to go through a central organization and whatnot, is very helpful. And here in South Africa, you need proof of accommodation to open a bank account. If you don't, so which means the poorest or the people who cannot afford a lot of things may be excluded from the system. So that's the difference between the two.
So that's permissionless. So that's it's available to anybody who will. Okay.
Yes.
So now let's talk about we now understand permissionless, now, which is great. It's easy access. Now, I know you did talk about there are some downsides. You talked to that, but you also talked about decentralized. Can you explain the decentralized?
Yeah. So decentralization means that you have no single point of failure. But decentralization, right now, the people, if you're talking about the banking system, if you're talking about any organization, most organizations, there's a central authority, there's a central point where you gain authority from. So if it's the banking system, FNB or Nedbank are the ones who say, okay, we are validating this transaction as a central authority. Or when you're dealing with Facebook and Google, they are the central authority of the social media or the email addresses that you're dealing with. They are the one who hold that data, who validate transaction. If people want to speak to each other, you go through them. If they shut their systems down, you cannot communicate. Right.
And they can choose to say, we don't like you in this space, like they did with Donald Trump or a few other people.
Yes.
And they say, so we bar you from here.
Yeah, so that comes to the permission system. Okay. Right, permissionless. Okay. So decentralization may increase permission system or robustness of those systems, but decentralization, the advantages or the reason why it's important is that no one person decides which transactions to allow and which transactions not to when you're dealing with either money or blockchain. And also it allows for, it makes it harder for someone to attack you. So we've been hearing about data breaches recently, right? Where hackers attack FNB. It is easier to attack FNB because it's one single entity. However, that entity has information about every single other person. So if you attack FNB and then change transactions there, and FNB doesn't know, and let's say after a day later, then they discover that, oh, you hacked into the system and changed how much you have on your bank account, all those things. But with decentralized systems, if you change here, there are other people who have the information saying, no. Well, there's inconsistency in this information. What's happening? And then you get to a better truth in that. Okay. Yeah, so let us just get into the presentation, and as anything comes, as new terms come up, we'll explore them. And so what I would like to first look at is the current SWIFT system, right? And how that relates to our blockchain industry and how the decentralization of blockchain, right? And the blockchain model that we're talking about. When I'm talking about the blockchain model, I mean about what is the thinking behind blockchain technology. Some of the things we have covered, like decentralization and permissioned and permissionless systems, right? But so the blockchain is the core technology is more it's just like a distributed ledger. A ledger will have transactions or just information about who owns what. Basically, that's the basic way to think about it. And the reason why I wanted to mention the SWIFT system is that SWIFT, although yes, they don't send money between banks, they send information, right? So it's SWIFT is sort of like a communication system where banks, when they want to send money to another bank in Europe or whatever, they send the message through SWIFT. There's a particular standard that is used that, okay, I'm sending this amount to this bank. This SWIFT code, although it's not internally, they don't call it the SWIFT code, but let's say the SWIFT code that you're talking about, it has a lot of specification on how money is sent, right? And then then once that communication has been established, then you can do the sending of the money, right? But SWIFT has a central authority that can decide, well, today we in these countries would like to, as right, we have seen like with sanctions, like we would like to remove certain countries out of the SWIFT system, which makes it difficult for that country to do international transactions. It doesn't make it impossible, because you can still use email to communicate the message that you want to communicate. You can still use WhatsApp or whatever, and it's less secure. But now, if we were to think of SWIFT where it's just a communication network to see who's sending money to whom in another country, like which bank is sending money to which bank internationally, and there's a central authority that validates those transactions and make sure that everything is secure and also it's accurate, right? Now, if the blockchain technology is trying to solve the concept of how do we agree on a state of a ledger without having a central authority. How do we get consensus without trusting anyone? Because with central authority, there is the fundamental need for trust. You only, if you are dealing with your currency or your bank, you trust that the bank, the transactions that you have made, or you trust that it will arrive at the receiver side. So that trust is essential for centralized systems. But with decentralized systems, where blockchain comes into play, where you have multiple people around the world who validate these transactions, and there's no need for trust. And I'll explain why there's no need for trust later. But at the moment, you have computers around the world and who validate these transactions. And we know if one person misbehaves, other people are able to check that person, and there are penalties for those systems. So the major thing that blockchain tries to solve is the consensus problem without trust. So, and then you go, that's why you need the decentralization, where you increase the resistance to external pressure and external hacking to change whatever is on the ledger. But it also introduces another problem, which is if you are decentralized, it means that arriving at a consensus may take time. So this may reduce the speed of transactions in that blockchain. So one of the founders of Ethereum, or the person who came up with the application of smart contracts, which I'll also go later, should be in the next slide or two. Vitalik Buterin is a Russian origin, and he moved to Europe to create the Ethereum blockchain, and where he popularized the concepts of smart contracts there. But he coined the term the blockchain trilemma, because with decentralization, it may come high security in that hackers cannot hack one. If they try to hack one computer or one person, they cannot change the blockchain. They can try to hack 50 people. They'll have to do it simultaneously, but they cannot change the blockchain so long as it's decentralized enough, because there'll always be other people who can validate the network. And the way it makes it difficult is that the hacker should have the same computational power that the network has. If there are 20 people in South Africa validating the network, which there are more than that, and having the computers they use, even our normal computers or more powerful machines. If in the past it was easy to use your computer to validate the blockchain network, but the fact that there's so many people around the world validating, if you are trying to hack, you have to have 51% of that power to change the blockchain, but you can only do it for a short time. So if you change the transaction in the network and try to say, okay, allow this transaction, but not that transaction, within a couple of minutes, everyone will know what has happened, and then all the transactions from you will be rejected later on. So you might have spent billions to get this computational power, but at the end of the day, you end up losing, even with the value of the currency that you're dealing with. If it comes out that it was hacked, the value of the currency may drop. And so the benefit for you is null. And so those are the incentive mechanisms that have to be put in place. And it uses, with blockchain technology, they have to use a lot of concepts from game theory to try and make sure parties behave properly. And we won't go into the incentive mechanisms in depth, but I'll touch on them here and there. But so the blockchain trilemma is that if you increase decentralization, you have high security, but slow consensus or slow transactions. So you might not have multiple, like Visa, the way Visa and MasterCard processes transactions, they have thousands of transactions per day. But Bitcoin has way less than maybe less than 100. They're trying to scale it with more updates to the blockchain code and how consensus mechanism works, but it has less transactions that can happen within a second or within a minute. And if you say, well, I would like to increase the speed of transaction the blockchain so that we can easily be able to use it for daily transactions like your rand, how you use it, or bank transfers, you may need to reduce how decentralized it is. So there is a blockchain that is less decentralized, but has a higher throughput in terms of transaction. So this is called, what to call it? There's Cardano, which has that, but is still moving to become more decentralized. But when you have less decentralization, it means that the security of the blockchain might be compromised. But as we are moving towards as the blockchain space is maturing, this is becoming less of a trilemma, and people are pushing the limits in terms of how to push how decentralized it is, and yet still have fast transition. But the blockchain space, ultimately, it introduces a game changer concept of programmable money. And this is through smart contracts, which I'll speak about going forward. So there is a lot of people, when they say, oh, cryptocurrencies, they normally put it together with the blockchain technology. You can have blockchain technology without cryptocurrency. You can implement the blockchain without cryptocurrencies. But cryptocurrency can be used as a utility currency for that blockchain. You can decide, no, we won't have any, for validation of transactions, we won't have any reward for that. And for utilizing the blockchain, we won't charge anything for that. And therefore, there's no currency for that blockchain. And so it is possible to have that. But to have the incentive structure that ensures that people behave properly, you need some sort of reward system, some sort of checks and balances that are monetary. So, if we are talking about Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin means the blockchain itself is Bitcoin, the Bitcoin blockchain, but you also are referring to Bitcoin, the currency, right? And then you have Bitcoin code. If I were to take that Bitcoin code and download it and start running my blockchain here and have friends running it, it is not Bitcoin. It's just the code. So Bitcoin is that network effect that it has, and it is the currency that is utilized with that in that network. So with Bitcoin blockchain, it's an international network of payments, and it is borderless. Blockchain in general is borderless. It doesn't recognize borders. Where if you are sending money to someone else, it's the same whether they're sending money while in South Africa, or to a person in South Africa, or to a person next door to your house, or to a person across the world in Europe, USA. And because of that, it means that transactions can take, if a transaction normally takes 1 minute to reach a friend, next door neighbor, it will take the same minute to reflect on your friend's account in Europe or America or another African country, Kenya or Ghana, right? And so Bitcoin itself is a network of payments. It's a technology, the blockchain technology. It is a currency, right? And then there are also blockchain technologies where you might have the cryptocurrency separated from the blockchain technology in name. So you have the Ethereum blockchain, but the cryptocurrency is actually not Ethereum, it's Ether. So Ether is used as a utility token to be able to utilize the blockchain. So it is given as reward to people who validate this blockchain to ensure that it's secure and the transactions that are happening are validated. And also, if people want to execute code on the blockchain, which is the smart contracts, we'll cover them in the next slide. They use Ether to do that. You can issue tokens on this blockchain. So Ethereum is a blockchain, but it's also a platform, right? So other cryptocurrencies can be built on top of Ethereum. And the technology it uses is more advanced than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is first generation blockchain, and Ethereum is second generation, which is a platform. So it's a smart contract platform, which allows people to write code to do certain things depending on certain variables that happen. And so as we go further, so I mentioned a bit about the how Ethereum is a platform and utilizes smart contract. So this can be grouped into, we can say the blockchain technology has multiple applications. Bitcoin blockchain, the application is money. The application is payment. So you are looking at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, Bitcoin Cash, and other cryptocurrencies. So the application, so cryptocurrencies and blockchain, they have different use cases and different applications. And with you then have the other more bigger application, which is platforms. Platforms allow you to build on top of the blockchain. So blockchain technology and Ethereum, for example, or Binance Smart Chain, whatever, all of them have, in particular, they utilize protocols. So the same way we utilize their protocols in the internet for you to send your email, an email to another person, you use protocols. HTTP is a protocol. So it's just standards of communication. So Ethereum also has particular standards of communication, particular ways you can interact with this communication layer. So these transactions that are happening, transactions don't have to be money related. They can be, because when you're saying transactions, actually the exchange of information. Basically, that's what you have. And then the platforms, the characteristics of platforms is smart contracts, which enable them to, you can code logic into them, where you say, if X happens, do this. If Y happens, do that. So this enables people to build decentralized applications on top of these platforms. And you have a lot of examples of decentralized applications, but one example could be having a lotto system on the blockchain, utilizing smart contracts. The way this will work is you have a smart contract which says that people put money, you buy a lotto ticket. You say, well, you record, you say, I put 1 Ethereum is equivalent to 5 tickets, right? At the end, let's say after 5 hours, you announce the winner by having a random number generating, and then pick a random winner who receives maybe 30% of the pool, and the second one receives 20% going down. So that can be audited, because the big concept about blockchain is open source. So all the code that is deployed, you can audit that it will do as you think it or is intended, as it is intended to. So everyone knows and understands that if I put money here, these things will happen. So you know you have a contract and it will be executed. No one can stop it. So I'll give you an example. If you go to a vending machine, you believe, you have faith that I put 5 rand in, I know, and select the B5 or A7 or whatnot, you get your candy, you get your biscuit there. That's the contract. That's a simple way you can think about smart contract, where vending machine, you have a lot of them in Japan, and Japan or China in particular. So in the streets, you buy something, you pay for something, you get what you paid for. You don't need to trust anyone, because you know that's how vending machines work. So that's one way I can explain smart contracts. And then smart contracts also can have, you have these things called non-fungible tokens, right, that are introduced because when you're thinking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are cryptocurrencies. And in the blockchain space, you have cryptocurrencies and tokens. They are very different. If Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, it's a coin. So you have coins and tokens, sorry. Bitcoin is a coin, Ether is a coin, but all tokens, any cryptocurrency built on a platform is a token, because it's not the native cryptocurrency there. So you might have, when we want to have built our lotto system, where we say, no, we create our own cryptocurrencies to utilize with that lotto. You buy that cryptocurrency and put it in the lotto smart contract, and then you win certain amount back. That will be called a token, because it might be built on Ethereum blockchain or Binance Smart Chain. So that's an example. And of lately, we've been hearing about non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. And non-fungible tokens, that's one application of the cryptocurrency, of the blockchain technology, right? And non-fungible token means that it's just like a house. Each house is unique. You can not exchange it for the other. So you might have the same exact house that is built next door to you. However, the way the sun comes through your house makes it unique. That position also adds value to the house, different value than another house in the corner of the street where there's more traffic, more noise. So that's type of so non-fungible means that you can distinguish between two tokens, although they are both, let's say, ether tokens. You can distinguish between the two. You can separate them. So this introduces an idea of ownership, where it cannot be, you cannot copy it, you cannot, it's just because someone has seen your token, no one can replicate it. And it's unique to you. And this is just like, right now, the implementation is in art, but potentially you can implement it with cars, for example. I'll give you an example. You have a smart contract, right? You buy a Tesla online, and you download the Tesla app on your phone, and then because you purchase, you have a smart contract which gives you an NFT token. That NFT token is linked to your car. When Tesla delivers your car, you don't need a key. You can go to your Tesla car, and because you have proof of ownership of this NFT, you can open the car because ownership, this car, you have ownership of this car. So those are some of the concepts that are being permeated at the moment. And yes, like NFTs have been overblown, and you have a sort of a bubble with any new technology. You have that, and it's good for innovation. And smart contract also introduce, because all the different examples I have given are the consequence of smart contracts. And they basically, you are essentially programming money. You are telling, if this happens, money should do X. If I receive money from a friend, this money should automatically go there, or should automatically do this. And then another concept that the paradigm of smart contracts has introduced is DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. So basically, you will have an organization like, let's say, Lotto, or a central bank issuing a central bank. That is a DAO, or a decentralized autonomous organization. What it means is that a DAO or a DAO utilizes smart contracts and utilizes the community and the people to vote for certain ideas, and then the smart contracts implement those ideas. From the beginning, it has to be purpose-built for that particular item. So an example of an implementation that you could do for a DAO is a stock vault, right? That can be a decentralized autonomous organization where everyone has a say, everyone has a vote. So that organization will have particular rules, particular access and permissions that each member has. You can say these people have more voting power than others. It has to be decided from the beginning. Once it's launched, you cannot change that. So it means that if everyone puts money into the DAO, everyone is able to be distributed to that money at the end of the month has to be distributed to one person. The DAO will handle that automatically. So if someone borrows money out of the DAO, from the beginning, you had agreed that this is the amount of interest that is charged. So if someone returns the money without interest, their account will be in arrears. And next time when they contribute, they still be in. Next time when you're distributing the money, that is deducted from the account. So that's a DAO that you can utilize. And another DAO implementation, which is actually happening at the moment as I speak, is an Airbnb competitor, where instead of having a central authority deciding or managing bookings like Airbnb and validating hosts and people who come and utilize the platform. You have the Genesis team, which first sets the rules and the community agrees. Once it's adopted, the community starts to vote on those rules changes and also how money is utilized and who's allowed and how to punish people who misbehave as hosts or as guests, right? And a host, to be a host, you have to put a stake or so if you have to put money inside, and after a couple of months, once you that money is yours. If you want to stop hosting, you take it out. But that money allows for you to not misbehave. So if someone comes to your apartment, with time, you get a reputation. And then therefore, you don't need to put up as much collateral as others. But with as you get more reputation, people use you as a host. You also are rewarded with this token or cryptocurrencies that the blockchain that DAO uses as their native cryptocurrencies. And you can then stake that. And that's one way that an incentive is being made. And for me, the biggest thing has been, how do you do concept, what you call conflict resolution? Because it can be very hard to come to a consensus when you have distributed systems. And now, if someone were to come and mess your kitchen or break stuff in your apartment and denies it, how do you solve conflict resolution in that? So this is a question that I've been trying to play around with, and because if you were to build even a DAO for Airbnb, for Uber, for example, a competitor to Uber, where there's no central authority that manages this Uber. You have an app, anyone can join, but there are certain incentives that are in place to prevent any bad players from taking advantage of the system. But they can be conflict in those cases where someone leaves their phone on the Uber and some Uber driver may steal the phone or something like that. How do you solve that problem? So this is a problem to other people are trying to solve. And I'm also, I had a few ideas on how to work around it. There's still loopholes to it. And it's basically collateral is one component. And another one is you have randomly chosen hosts and randomly chosen Airbnb, what you call a guest, to actually look at your case. You submit your case, and we say, okay, looking at the facts, and both hosts and come to a consensus. Well, we would like to reimburse you for the damage because we see that, okay, this is a good claim or this is a bad claim or something. Those are some of the ways you can try to figure out how to solve for this. And smart contracts also introduce the concept of, or these have been used already, token offering or initial coin offering. So what this means is that right now you have initially when a company is issuing shares, there's that share offering that happens. So in when you're talking about the blockchain, because of smart contract, a company can raise capital using ICOs or initial coin offering. So the way you come about, you have a startup, you have been working with a concept, and you feel like you're ready, you have tested enough, you have enough users, but you want to expand this concept, and you actually need more funding. So you can go through a process called initial coin offering. You publish your white paper, how purchasing those tokens will benefit the purchaser or funding their project, how those tokens can be a utility token in your platform, or what do they mean? If someone has your token, do they have a say in your business? Or is it like a share? And can they veto, or can they vote for certain features of your business, or can they utilize it to take advantage of your business? And so that you can define, if people believe that your project has value and is something that they can get behind, they put money in a smart contract. So they just say, okay, I'll purchase your token. So they put Ethereum, Bitcoin in the smart contract, and then they receive back your token. So you can say, Peg, so one of my token is equal to $5, or we think our company is valued this, and therefore we'll release this much tokens, and then each token will be valued at 30 cents. So if someone puts 1 Bitcoin at that price, you say, we'll take the average price of Bitcoin over the last 1 month and use that as a way to discern how much you should get of our token. So those are some of the things or applications you can use in blockchain with smart contracts and platforms. And then the new concept is about interoperability of blockchains. So right now, each blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, Cardano, all those blockchains, they in the beginning, they couldn't communicate with each other. They are different blockchains, they use different protocols. So there are new other blockchains that are coming and say, well, we want to come as a bridge between different blockchains, where you allow for communication. Assets of one blockchain should be able to be transferred to another blockchain. So Bitcoin assets could be able to be, you can transfer Bitcoin to the Ethereum blockchain. And when you transfer it, then it may not be called Bitcoin. So there's something called wrapped Bitcoin. So there's an Ethereum wraparound. It's pegged to Bitcoin, basically. So when you to say, I would like to convert this to Bitcoin back, the smart contract takes that wrapped Bitcoin and destroys it, and then you get back your Bitcoin in the Bitcoin network. So those are the type of things that are, or advances that are being worked on at the moment, and a lot more are still coming. And the blockchains and cryptocurrencies can have at the moment, the way when you are investing or when you are dealing with how you navigate this blockchain space, you have to think of them in the following categories, right? You have to look at the top level, you have platforms versus non-platform blockchain. I mentioned previously that platform blockchain usually allow you to build on top of them. You build issues tokens and build smart contracts. And then non-platform blockchain usually have a single use, and no other token or cryptocurrency can be built on top, except for the native cryptocurrency. This is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, and others. And then you have a distinction between coins and tokens I mentioned earlier. So coin, for example, again, is BTC or Bitcoin, ADA, Cardano, that's Cardano, Ethereum or Ether is for the Ethereum blockchain. And this coin, the underlying, the one thing that cuts across is that they are native cryptocurrencies for their blockchain. That's why they are called coins. And then you have tokens. Tokens are built on top of other blockchains. They are issued on top of other blockchains. So Ethereum, for example, that's where a lot of tokens are issued on, and a lot of projects are built on top of Ethereum. So Maker is one project that is an interesting application of a decentralized autonomous organization, which issues a stable coin called DAI. So I will explain in depth in a bit, but basically the way Maker works is that you come and borrow money from the Ethereum blockchain. So basically it is giving you, when you're borrowing money from an Ethereum blockchain that you call DeFi, that's another category of blockchain. But when I reach DeFi, I'll explain the borrowing of money. But Maker, the application is that it's a DAO that manages the stability of DAI, which is pegged to a US dollar. You don't need external US dollar reserves. You just need Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies to maintain the stability of DAI. And no one decides, okay, now DAI is going below $1, let's do this, let's do that. It's like the central bank. It manages itself. So I will go into that. So MakerDAO is also an example of a DeFi cryptocurrency or platform, basically. So you have inter-blockchain communication, or IBC protocols. One example is called Cosmos, which you can communicate with all different blockchains. So you can go, let's say, online, and you want to trade your cryptocurrency. As at an exchange, which we'll go or we'll cover later about decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges. A decentralized exchange, you can go there to a smart contract. It's like, I'd like to buy Bitcoin, I'd like to buy Cardano, I have Ethereum. And so you go to the smart contracts, you purchase, you send your Ethereum, you just say buy, and then it will take your Ethereum, and then you are given Cardano at the exchange rate that the market deems appropriate. Those are your exchanges that you're dealing with. So, and then you have DeFi, which I mentioned just a bit. You have one called Uniswap and MakerDAO. Uniswap is an example of a decentralized exchange. And the decentralized exchange allows you, without any central authority. So imagine the stock market, you don't have anyone who validates buy and sell orders. You have smart contracts that do that. You put in $5 and the market has determined that that is equivalent to 10 shares of Tesla. You receive that. So it's a free market, and the price is determined by players of the market, and you put in this amount, you get that amount, and you can see the order books and everything like that to actually make your decision when you're purchasing and selling cryptocurrencies on this decentralized blockchains or decentralized exchanges. And then MakerDAO is decentralized autonomous organization that manages the stability of DAI, which is pegged to US dollar. And then I mentioned decentralized autonomous organizations already. That's one categorization of cryptocurrency. So when you're investing or when you're trying to see where should I start, you are thinking of all these categories, like, oh, do I want to invest in platform tokens? Do I want to invest in just pure currencies or non-platform token like Bitcoin, Litecoin? Or do I want to also explore tokens and projects or DeFi cryptocurrencies or projects that I believe in? Or do I look at decentralized autonomous organizations? So, and do I look at stable coins. Stable coins are coins that are pegged to national currency. It can be US currency, rands, it can be yen, it can be other cryptocurrencies. But the idea is so that it has to always be convertible to $1. One stable coin, it should be equal to $1. It has to maintain that peg. Yes, you can fluctuate to 0.9999. But once it goes to 0.3, 0.8, that range is unacceptable. So those stable coins, there has to be mechanisms in place that ensure the stability of that stable coins. An example is Tether, one of the biggest stable coins in terms of market cap. This one is pegged to US dollars. They have US dollar reserves, they have Bitcoin reserves, they have all this kind of reserves. So they are a central organization. It's not a decentralized organization where you can say, I would like to convert my US dollars to Tether so that I can transfer it across borders very easy. Tether is a token on the Ethereum blockchain. So once it's on the Ethereum blockchain, you can utilize it on decentralized exchanges, or you can send it to anyone around the world without any huge fees or without any restrictions. So people will say from their bank account, you send to this company that issues Tether, and that your money stays in their bank account. They can decide to buy Bitcoin with it, which is used to hedge against the dollar also and other currencies to ensure that the Tether remains stable. So if let's say Tether becomes, let's say its value goes to $1.2, the market will ensure its stability, because once you go to $1.2, it means that if I have, it's good for me to now convert my US dollars that I have cash and get Tether at a $1 equivalent, and then go to the market because it's 1.2 and buy another cryptocurrency because my Tether is 1.2. When more people do that, more Tether is issued and the value of Tether drops. And then if it drops below $1, what happens is that, well, I know that if my Tether is now 0.89 or 0.9, for example, I buy a lot of Tether and take that, I bought it at 0.9 and go and convert it back to US dollar at a 1-to-1 ratio, I'm making profit. As you take away Tether out of the circulation, the value goes back to 1. So there's pressure towards conversion at $1. So that's one example of how the stability of a stablecoin is maintained. So stablecoins, another applications of stablecoins are CBDCs. We'll cover, there's a slide on that. These are central bank digital currencies. I don't know how many people would have heard of them, but we'll cover them. There are countries that are exploring them, and they introduce interesting possibilities. And also they have some scary applications. And then DEX token, or when we are dealing with decentralized exchanges. So DEX is decentralized exchanges. You have CEX, which is centralized exchanges. So decentralized exchanges, an example is Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Carbon, or Switcheo. So these exchanges, one component that is true for all of them, they utilize smart contracts, and no single entity decides which transaction, which exchanges, or which purchases are allowed. So the GameStop saga that happened, for example, where Robin blocked the purchase of GameStop stock while allowing for the sale of it, that wouldn't happen, cannot happen in decentralized exchanges, because the market, if the market deems that wants to pay more, they pay more. If they want to pay less, they pay less. And you can't cause one and not the other. No one can decide, okay, we would like to stop now, and this is getting out of hand, or it's too much volatility. And that's the other thing about cryptocurrency space, because the way I'm seeing it, if you compare it to the stock market, right? The US stock market and a lot of stock market have stopgap measures. When the price of stock is becoming too volatile or is dropping too much, they can institute a stopgap where you pause transactions so that people cool off. And then even for just a minute or two, has a significant impact on the market. So for me, if you are talking about pure market versus this can be sort of, if you can say, oh, it's manipulated market, and it's a to protect the stability of government and the stability of the stock market of a country. There is need to have quote unquote manipulation, because the interesting part is that if there's volatility and the stock is surging too much, there's no stop measure for that. They let it ride, but stock prices are not allowed to fall too much within a short space of time. With cryptocurrencies or decentralized exchanges, if the price of cryptocurrency falls, it can fall. And sometimes it can huge, in a day, it can fall 30% or whatnot. So that's why also you have that volatility, because downward, people are scared of that, but it can also get 30% return in a day. But on average, over a month or two, you have a trend that is observable. And if you're considering long-term investment, the fluctuations are not a problem. That should be a big worry. And then you have the other interesting category, which is the metaverse or virtual world tokens. One example is called Decentraland. You can own virtual land on this blockchain, and it can be valuable land. People, celebrities, and some few companies are buying land on virtual reality, this virtual reality platform. This is a blockchain. And metaverse, you can see, it seems like it's catching on, because Facebook changed their name from Facebook to Meta. The parent company is now Meta, nodding towards the metaverse, and they're investing huge sum in building up this metaverse, and Microsoft is doing the same. Although the metaverse that Facebook and Microsoft are building is not purely blockchain based, it's not decentralized, and the valuable land, the valuable metaverse, the valuable virtual land, in my belief, are those that are not owned by a central entity, that allow for innovation across the globe. Anyone can contribute code to this blockchain or decentralized virtual world, and anybody can join. Anybody, as we talked about permissionless and permission systems, anyone can join. And the things that you buy on that land, you can buy a shirt, you can buy a car. They utilize the concept of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, which we covered earlier. And it will be unique to you. And you can have value, you can't have multiple of the same thing. So because of this, it allows for this metaverse way of ownership and real ownership. Although when we're talking about the metaverse of virtual reality, It's an abstract concept. It's difficult to imagine why would someone purchase something that they cannot touch, land that, why is it valuable, really? And now the NFTs also come into play in the metaverse, because say, well, why would you buy an NFT? It's not like you can display it on your wall, but you can display it in your metaverse. You can sell it in the metaverse, right? And as someone in the metaverse, whether they're putting in what augmented reality headset or a virtual reality headset, they can see, okay, I would like to get information about this painting. They can tell how much you bought it for if you want them to know. They can tell that it was once held by this person and now it's held by this person. Oh, so you can trace the history and everything about it. So it's an interesting exploration. And for me, I'm not, I don't, you wouldn't find me buying virtual reality headsets for me to spend time in the metaverse or whatnot. It's not my cup of tea.
Sounds interesting. I agree with you. I don't think you'd find me there either.
Yeah, so though the interesting part is that there are certain rules that have to be made now in the metaverse. Is the Wild West. There was a news right now, Facebook's metaverse. A woman went there to join and try to explore what's happening. And there was sexual assault. Those are some of the implications we're bringing. And already people can be crazy, can be malicious in the real world. And now you are introducing distance to that. Like in the metaverse, you have an avatar. It doesn't look like you. You have a lot of anonymity, because online people can be cruel, can be nasty. Twitter is an example. People can say all kinds of things and can bully, cyberbullying. And so there you have insults and other things. And so how do you try and, as you go to the metaverse, is it possible to leave the negative things of our world behind? Are we able to regulate that? So those are some of the questions that can come up. And you remember I mentioned central bank digital currencies earlier, right? The reason why I needed to have the slides just to make sure I remember is because it's a big thing that is coming. And it's good if you're a central bank, if you're a government, and it may be, depending on how you feel about privacy in terms about government control and overreach, you can have different opinions on that. But let me present how CBDCs can be applied. So we talked about smart contracts, right? We talked about blockchain technology as a whole and how it can improve. You are decentralized, you can, validate transactions without needing a central authority to do so. And they are trust-rate transactions. So utilizing this technology, the central bank can say, we have multiple outlets that can validate transaction using the blockchain, the concepts of the blockchain, and we can trust that no single person could be able to hack us, right? And that's a good thing. And then the programmable aspect of it, the CBDCs, like you can think of them stable coins. The stable coins, just like Rand, right now you use your credit card or your debit card to purchase items. Imagine if you never had to withdraw cash. That's the start of a CBD. Instead of just maintaining the current structure where banks deal with the Rand and issue and hold your money for you, a central bank issued current stable coins you can have your wallet and money is issued directly from the central bank, and they control directly interest rates, they control directly how you can utilize that money. So programmable money is the word, because of those smart contracts. It's because of that blockchain of CBDs. Why is it advantageous for a central bank to adopt this? Right now, for monetary policy sake, right now, they have to say, okay, we'd like to reduce inflation. How do we do that? We increase interest rates. Try to reduce, you have inflation targets, or we would like to, inflation is too low. We'd like to increase spending. How do we do that? Drop interest rates. However, with CBDCs, because it's programmable money, it can also, you can introduce the concept of expiring money. So a central bank can say, anyone is, says for this 6 months, you're only allowed to hold, so 50% of you have to spend 50% of your money. If you don't, it expires. You have your rights on this blockchain, and there's no way, no matter what you do, transfer it to your own private wallet, it's still using that fundamental blockchain of the central bank. And therefore, you have to adhere to those rules. So this can quickly and surgically increase spending in an economy. If you feel like, well, inflation is too low now, we have to stimulate spending. So, well, those who spend money, will give them more money, or will give them a reward for spending that money, because there's a smart contract that is there, and it can also work as a DAO, because members of the central bank can say, okay, we vote on this resolution, and it's implemented in the smart contract level. And you can also, to discourage saving, the central bank say, well, we have negative interest rates. Right now, if you have a negative interest rate, you rather take your money out of the bank and store it under a pillow, right? But if you don't have the ability to take money out, it means that with more control, it allows the country to surgically manage their money, and also it introduces other possibilities that you can be allowed, if the country says, who would like to move away from fossil fuel towards carbon neutral sources of energy. But in order to do that, instead of punishing companies only, you can also punish citizens. Punish is a harsh word, but you can disincentivize citizens against purchasing goods that increase to carbon emissions. An example will be that, let's say now you're buying fuel, and all garages only have to accept rands, which are in the form of these stable coins, which are CBDCs, right? And per month, you are allotted carbon-free tax up to 1,000 rands. After 1,000 rands, if any amount you spend on purchasing fuel above that, you'll be charged a carbon tax. You cannot do that now. The government cannot do that now, because if I go to purchase fuel, I might use my credit card, I might use cash. No one knows that how much fuel I've spent but me. Even the bank will not know. I might withdraw cash and purchase fuel. So all those things are ways you can manage surgically your economy as a central bank. But as a citizen, it brings a lot of worry for me, because in the past, growing up, my thought has been blockchain it will be helpful for authoritarian regimes. It will be helpful for countries where there's low freedom of speech there. But recently, it seems that even the developed world is moving towards more control by the government. And I'll give you an example. Canada, right now, trucker convoy, they were protesting, and you might disagree with what they're protesting about. You might disagree with everything surrounding it, but largely there was no violence for them. They were not violent. They were disruptive, yes, but a lot of people decided, well, let us donate money to these people so that they continue protest. And it's your right to donate to a cause that you believe in. However, the government instituted what you call it, measures to block and freeze people's accounts who are involved in this protest, and also the crowdfunding platforms that were used decided to, well, we'll confiscate this money. So now it's like, well, it's my money, and if it's legal, take me to court. If it's illegal, take me to court and prove that it's against the law, and then we can talk about jail. But to arbitrarily freeze people's funds, it's a bit overreaching. So with CBDCs, this gives me worry, because if they're implemented even with first world countries, they have better control of their citizens. And it takes one government, it takes one president to change the ethos of country. Everyone will say, oh, nothing, something like that will not happen in the West because we have the rule of law. But things can happen because it requires a few people who are corrupt, or even not corrupt, but who don't believe in those values, to change the system. And so at the same time, though, right now with COVID that had hit, CBDCs would have been very efficient in distributing money to those who need it the most. So instead of going through banks, the central bank directly deposit money, or the US government can distribute this money directly to people. And it stimulates the economy. And it also, instead of waiting a month because of the effects of COVID, you only wait 24 hours, or as soon as the bill is approved, a smart contract can be triggered to distribute this money. So those are some of the good and the bad that you deal with. And CBDCs, so, yeah.
Mogopoli, sorry. Yeah, I think we have done a good job talking about the concept, talking about bringing in the theory, because a whole lot of us did not understand where it's coming from. And I think we are also running out of time. I think we have about 20 minutes. So I would like us to now, because we're talking about pathways of wealth creation, now we have understood the concepts. People can go and study a little bit more, but we want to now talk to how do I actually get my hands into this, and where do I get the money? How do I do it? How do I invest? And also give us a few examples on how to do it.
Okay, so that's just the next slide. Where to get cryptocurrency? That's the big question. There are different ways. You can start validating the blockchain. This is done through mining or staking, depending on the blockchain. Bitcoin is a mining blockchain where you validate transactions through a concept called mining, which requires your computational power and therefore a lot of energy that you use. And then staking is you have to actually have the cryptocurrency in order to stake. So Ethereum is moving from mining to staking. So mining also, you have proof of work, and staking is proof of stake. So proof of work is that you prove the work that you have done for this blockchain, and then you are rewarded for that. That's how new cryptocurrencies are generated. So people who validate blockchain do not create any new money. They do not. They are rewarded with new money. The blockchain is the one that gives them. So you cannot hack a blockchain and create your own new money. No, you can only validate transactions. That's something I wanted to get off with. And then staking, you need to have the cryptocurrency to stake. And staking is less energy intensive than mining, because you are showing that you have the money, and so using that collateral, you can validate transactions. Should you try to misbehave, you may lose that correct collateral. So if you try to cheat,
sorry, Mkupoli, you lost me a little bit. So here I am. I want to get into this cryptocurrency. What do you, in simple language, what is mining? What exactly do I do if you are saying I'm mining to get them? And what exactly do I do to get staking? In very simple language, I'm a layman, I don't know anything, and I want to get into cryptocurrency. So, can you, go ahead.
So mining is just validating transactions, and it's nothing at top level. It's just validating transaction of the blockchain. You are helping secure the blockchain, but the problem is that now, if you mine and try to change things, we need a way to incentivize you to behave properly. And then now you have to expend energy, which is a cost to you. And if you misbehave, you don't get rewards. And then with staking, because you have removed that concept of energy expansion, and you have to have money. So the way you do it is you download the cryptocurrency wallet, or you download the mining app on your laptop, the staking app on your laptop, or the wallet on your laptop. And then what you do is buy the cryptocurrency on a exchange. Usually you need to first convert your rands to the cryptocurrency that you want. And so you can, in South Africa here, we have Luno. It's the one that has been here for longer. It's most transfers. It has less cryptocurrencies, but is more established. And then you have easy equities, but you can't withdraw the cryptocurrency. You don't really own it. You own the index. You buy the crypto index, but really. And then you have Coinbase that allows you to purchase the cryptocurrency. So you purchase, you download it, you send it to your own wallet, which you then, so there are apps that allow you to just press lock. You lock it, just like your savings account. You lock for 30 days, 50 days, or whatnot, and then you are rewarded money for locking up that cryptocurrency. But as you are locking the money, you are saying, I would like to have a choice who validates transactions. So there will be people in the back end who maybe have big computers. You choose, or your wallet automatically chooses whom to pick next to validate transactions. So this is like 2 layers, right? But you don't need to do much. However, if you want to get even more rewards in staking, then you come to the component where you are a direct staker. That one requires more funds. So the first layer of staking is that you have your wallet. You can use most platforms, exchanges, to stake your cryptocurrency, which allows you to vote for someone else to validate transactions. And another way of staking is it's more technical. So you need to have to buy your a laptop, or where you can download that blockchain and start validating transactions there. And so usually you might use an old laptop to do that, and it has to be on 24/7. And if it switches off, you might not earn anything for a while. So you need to first validate multiple for trust to build up. And so that's the basic top layer level of staking. What is easy for most people to do while entering the blockchain space is staking. Mining has become more difficult and more expensive, more costly. Huge capital requirements, and also you need the technical know-how. So it will be better to have someone else or central entity do it. So, yeah.
Okay, we can proceed.
And then if you other ways of investing, if you don't want to, if you just are buying, so there are two ways which you buy cryptocurrency. You buy to hold yourself, or just buy to get exposure to the price of cryptocurrency. These are crypto indexes, crypto bundles, and other options. So Revix.com has crypto bundles where you have the top 10 cryptocurrencies. And if you buy that bundle, they rebalance the portfolio as some cryptocurrencies move out of the top 10 and back to the top 10, right? The advantage with that is that you are not paying for, you are not taxed on what cryptocurrencies are inside. You are dealing with that bundle. So you are not, if they change, they remove Ethereum, sell Ethereum and buy another cryptocurrency to replace it, for tax purposes, it's not considered a sell for you because you didn't buy that individual cryptocurrency, you bought a bundle. But if you do it yourself and you're selling and rebalancing your portfolio, then you are taxed for every event that this happens. And then if I would like to hold my cryptocurrency, we have crypto wallets that, just like your credit card or debit card, think of them like that. They don't hold the cryptocurrency. The blockchain has information about who owns what, and they have access to that key. Said, okay, this person who has these keys has access to this money, can control that money. So same applies with your debit card and credit card. The person who holds it and has the password to it is assumed to have control over that, is allowed to make certain transactions utilizing that credit card. So cryptocurrencies, think of them as your wallet, basically, or your credit card, debit card. And but it's an app on your phone, really, and you can send money, receive money, stake, and also connect to DAOs or exchanges, or all these different things you can do with it. That allows you a lot of things. And then you have two kinds of wallets that we're dealing with. And you have custodial wallets. You have a wallet provider who can access your keys and therefore control your wallet. So I'll give you an example. These are centralized exchanges. So Luno, for example, is a centralized exchange. If a bank decides, well, we want to offer cryptocurrency purchases and sales, they will be, and exchanges, or they could be considered a centralized exchange, right? And they will hold custody of your funds. You log into their platform using a password and email address and other features. And this means that if they are hacked, your funds can be lost. They can, so there's central point of failure. They are hacked and their money is stolen. But the advantage with centralized authorities or custodial wallets, there is a higher chance that you gain back your cryptocurrency because they may have insurance on that cryptocurrency, and they are required, because they're providing a service, and they've usually when they provide this service, like you trusted them that they will hold your funds safe, and therefore it's their obligation to do so. So these, so you have those are custodial wallets that you're talking about. And the advantage with them is that it's not different from the current system we have. Your NetBank app, you can think of it as custodial wallet, where someone else is holding your funds for you. And you know that should someone hack FNB and zero all transaction or whatnot, they are insured. Or if they lose money and the money stolen from them, they're insured. and you will recoup at least some or not all of you, if not all of your funds. So that's the peace of mind, and also that when you're looking at custodial wallets, and usually these are cryptocurrency exchanges. And if you lose your funds, you lose your password, you can call them and prove that it's you, and then recover your funds. And then you have non-custodial wallets. You have full control. You manage your wallet. You have basically you are on your own bank, right? And this the custodial wallet can be a desktop wallet, phone wallet, hardware wallets. Hardware wallets. So the different wallets have different levels of security. And so if you store in a desktop wallet or phone wallet, these are online wallets. And social engineering can allow hackers to enter your wallet. So maybe the passwords you use are not the best, or someone hacks your computer. But they cannot hack the blockchain, but they hack your computer and gain access to your wallet, or gain access to the keys that you have. So that's the type of thing that you're worried about. But although it is less vulnerable to cyber threats. So if you have your custodial wallet, your own wallet, you're less prone to people hacking you directly, because the way the cyber community thinks, like the hackers, it's like, we want to make a lot of money. They don't know how much you have. They don't know, when they're hacking someone, they have no clue which private key you have and how much you have in your wallet. So yeah, they may be spending too much resources in trying to hack in each individual person, whereas it's easier and cheaper to directly hack centralized exchanges or this central authority or custodial wallets, because it's cheaper to do so. It's a single point of failure, and therefore it's more vulnerable. So as an individual, we are less vulnerable to cyber threats. However, if you don't know or how to do just basic management of your password, keys, and of your wallet, basically, you might be vulnerable to social engineering, where someone says, oh, just send me this cryptocurrency and I'll double your money. But that can also happen with centralized exchanges. So that's the thing. But the other big problem with custodial wallets is that in the past, they're not easy to use. Right now, they are more easy to use. And they're just like normal wallets that you deal with, like your bank account. But the difference is that you have to store your recovery phrase. If you lose your phone, so long as you have your recovery phrase, you recover all your funds. As I stated earlier, the cryptocurrency is not on your phone. The wallet gives you access to control the cryptocurrency. So having a recovery phrase, you just download a wallet, you buy a new phone, you download that wallet, you insert your recovery phrase, and boom, you can see your money again with a different phone. And that's the advantage with this, is that, yes, you might lose your phone or lose your data or something like that, but you can still recover so long as you securely store your recovery phrase. But if you lose your funds, because you don't have someone else, a bigger entity, insuring you or protecting you, it's almost impossible to get them back. If it's improbable. The reason why I say that is, if, for example, it's the way you lose your funds. You may lose your funds by you forget your laptop and you throw it away, and there was Bitcoin there. And you have lost your funds. But it happens that when you're creating your wallet, you wrote down your recovery phrase, but now you can go and find that phrase. Maybe you stored it with your uncle or whatnot, and then you come back and say, oh, okay, I put it and recover the funds. But if someone else takes your money, which is highly likely, unless they have access to your wallet and whatnot, if you send someone else your money, that transaction cannot be reversed. So that's the finality to it. So you have to be responsible. And as I mentioned earlier, different wallets, custodial wallets, allow you for different levels of privacy and different levels of security. Hardware wallets are the most safe. A hardware wallet is Ledger, Nano, Trezor. These are just like pen drive, a pen drive or flash drive. And that flash drive has a small screen where you put in your password there. It's not a password, it's basically a PIN. But a PIN can be like 8-digit PIN. Or if you want it to be a 4-digit PIN, it can be. But 8 digits can be allowed there. No one knows how many digits it is. And therefore, it's difficult for anyone to try and guess your PIN there. And with these Ledger hardware wallets, you also have to store your recovery phrase once you are setting them up. And even if you lose that hardware wallet, you have the peace of mind that no one else can have access to my funds. Let's say it might take them years to guess your password, keep trying multiple times. In the meantime, once you lose your hardware wallet, what you do, you buy another hardware wallet and download and say, I would like to recover my funds. And then that wallet now has access to the funds that you have. You transfer the funds out to a different wallet and reset everything, and then you're fine. So all those things are possible if you have some knowledge. And also, as we were talking about permission versus permissionless, custodial wallets, you need to do some form of check on you. So either you have KYC or know your customer, or AML, anti-money laundering, where they want your details, your information like your passport details and your proof of bank account, probably your proof of accommodation. So now someone else has this information from you, and if they're hacked, your information is exposed, all those things. Those are the downsides. But which means if you don't have certain documents, you're not allowed to utilize this centralized or custodial wallets. Although simple, but you still need those. And you need permission to do so because of this gatekeeping. But with non-custodial wallets, you purchase your cryptocurrency, you take it to your own wallet and you keep it, and you're fine. So no, you don't have to ask permission for anyone else. If, let's say you are in Zim where people don't have a lot of bank accounts or don't trust the bank and want to withdraw everything at once and spend the money or convert it to rands, it's advantageous to keep your money with you every time. And instead of having huge sums of cash under your pillow, at least you have this small wallet or something on your phone to hold. The difference between holding 1 million or 5 billion and R1 is not, it's the same. There's no difference at all. It's still one small thing. That's the scary part and also the interesting part. And yeah, so we'll end here. And basically the goal was to just make sure people know how to hold and where to go to purchase. And also, as the Liberians, you have to go back and question and try to see how it applies to you and see, is this what does it agree to what is out there, and also try it out with small sums and see what works.
Thanks so much, Mukupoli. Would you? I think let's get another 5 minutes. If you just walk us through an example or two, if you have any any structured examples that you can show in terms of investment? Yeah.
Example of how to invest, or
yes, of for example, like mini case studies in terms of looking at investment strategy, time horizon, and what it looks like. If you had to give some one or two cases, so that we can visualize in real monetary terms.
Okay.
Are you able to just take 5 to 10 minutes to do that?
Okay. So I would like to first to just do an example here, right? Sorry, this is a slide that I had kept up, but there are. Let's first start here. How do you approach this crypto investment? At least, how do I approach it? And I look at what strategy I'm trying to implement at the time horizon that I'm looking at, right? And we can look at two cases. And also, I will show a graph later on, but sorry, there's a lot of information on the slide, but bear with me. You have lump sums versus dollar cost averaging, right? These are two concepts that try to mitigate volatility or the risk that a lot of people talk about when they talk about volatility as risk. And so if you want to reduce the effect of purchasing at the top or at the bottom, you can dollar cost average or pay a lump sum. So the reason why it's important to decide what your best strategy is looking at, well, if I do a lump sum investment, let's say today I have this money and cryptocurrencies are going fair up, the value is doubling every day. You're getting excited. You decide, let me invest everything that I have. In that strip goal, if the market turns, you invested close to the top, and now you panic when the price start dropping. Say, oh, I'm losing money. You sell immediately because you are panicking. You invested all the stuff that you had, and then you make a loss. Or it could be that when you're investing, oh, the price of cryptocurrency has been dropping or it's flat now, and although there's excitement, you are that savvy investor who knows this is the bottom. I'll invest here, and going forward, the price is going up. That's the best time to invest, right? However, no one has a crystal ball of when the market will bottom out, when the market will top out. So I try to say, let's start with $1,000, and let's look at an investment in Bitcoin. The same time periods, but let's look at the good timing and bad timing, right? For both lump sum investing and dollar cost averaging. So dollar cost averaging, I haven't mentioned that. It means that you have this money that you have. Instead of investing it once, you say every week, I'll invest this money over 1 month. So every week, I will split it into 4. And every week I invest 250, 250, 250. Or I invest over 2 months, I split my money, or decide, well, I don't have a lump sum, but I make this amount of money from my income or from my business. So every month I'll consistently invest this fixed amount every month. And it doesn't matter whether Bitcoin just went up 50% or dropped down 50%. I will invest this fixed amount every month, regardless of what the market tells me. And my goal is to invest for 5 years, for example, or something like that. So that's the dollar cost averaging, where you just keep purchasing the same amount over a long time, or even it can fluctuate that if the market is low, you put more money. If the market is high, the prices are high, you put less money. Basically, that's it. So let's look at this. If we're looking at Bitcoin and say it's December 2017 that's when the hype was, right? When Bitcoin moved from even around 5,000 to 20,000 within a space of, was it less than a month or two? And there we were saying Bitcoin is in a bubble. Now it's at 40,000. And we think, oh, Bitcoin is too low or it has lost value. But let's do, so then imagine if you FOMOed in fear of missing out. Because of fear of missing out, you decide, well, I don't want to miss out on this game. And you put 1,000 immediately there at the top. Assume at the top, Bitcoin, in some cryptocurrency exchanges, it reached $20, right? Per Bitcoin. And you put money, 1,000 rands at the top, you are purchasing 0.5 Bitcoin. And you say, well, I've purchased, I'm patient. I don't care if Bitcoin drops in value. I'm patient. I'll wait 4 years. This is my plan. This is my time horizon. So first, you at year 1, 2018, December, you now have 159.15. This shows you how much Bitcoin dropped in value. So if you don't have a stomach to just look and wait, you end up selling and losing that much money immediately. If you haven't sold, you haven't lost. So then year 2, you have the Bitcoin price is picking up, so 7,300. This is $365, right? And then year 3, you now have 1,323. Bitcoin is at 26,475, right? And year 4, you have 2,325.6, right? 65. And let's say the same time someone else decide, well, I will dollar cost average. What I will try and do from December, I'll try to buy at the top. At the top at that time, it was around the 15th, right? And every 15th, and I'll invest twice a month, every 15th and end of the month, I will invest my money. And I'll invest only $50 until the money is done, that 1,000 is done, right? This is finishes like you're done investing all your money in September 2018, basically. So it takes you quite some time to finish a couple of months, basically 10 or something like that. I stand to be corrected though. So total Bitcoin that you purchase over this dollar cost averaging is 0.21, right? So it's 0.122. This is compared to 0.05. So already, although you started investing at the top, on average, you are having more Bitcoin than the other person, right? And then year 1, that is 2018, you have 388, right? And that's, yes, you lost value, but this is still more than the 159. And then year 2, you have 820 value, 3,229. By year 3, you have made more value than the person, the other person who did a lump sum at the top. And year 4, you are 3 times, roughly, plus or minus, 3 times, have 3 times more compared to the other person who did a lump sum. This is when investing at the top. And now, let's look at what if you have a crystal ball and you know when the bottom is, and you invest 1 lump sum. Let's see, you say, okay, 2018, I'm investing at the bottom when Bitcoin was $3,183, and you get 0.314 Bitcoin. By year 3, you have 15,000 in Bitcoin. You invested 1,000, you have 15,000. So This is you investing in 2018, and then 2019, you have 2,200 and already you are in profit because you invested at the bottom, of course. Year three, 15,000 already from 1,000. Let's do good timing, right? Start in December 2018, right? 1 month. So here it assumes you have a crystal ball for when to start investing. And you say 1 month, one investment month end and the other on the 15th as before. And this money finishes in September, right? And the total Bitcoin you have is 0.159. And you purchased it at an average price of about 6,900 once, all right? And this is like almost double the price that the other person purchased it for, right? And then let's see, year one, you have 1,160, year two, 4,209, year three, 8,000, right? When you're looking at the two differences, you'll notice that if you have timed the market well, you make a killing, right? But if you don't time the market, it can be a disaster, or you can purchase at the top. And for me, I know myself, I know that sometimes, even no matter how much data you look at, you may predict that over the couple of days, the price will continue steadily climbing, and you'd go in lump sum. But there are a lot of factors that you cannot control, that the price can suddenly drop, and then you could, if you had done dollar cost averaging, you could have done better. But also you have to be willing to lose potential gains. So this example is like, what if the day you are buying is at the bottom, right? And now you are dollar cost averaging when it would have been better to pay everything. So in this, if it's good timing, either way, you're making a big profit, regardless of you dollar cost averaging or lump sum if you have a good time. But the downside is that on average, when you're repeating this multiple times, what happens is that we know that you don't know, that you cannot time the market. You don't know, you don't have a crystal ball, you don't know that definitely this is the bottom, right? Because of that, you are trying to protect yourself from the bad timing effects, but at the same time, try to take advantage of the returns or that are provided by dollar cost averaging, right? So what you do is you still use dollar cost, at least I still use dollar cost averaging more, and this allows me to hedge myself against turbulent times in the market and also take advantage of the loss. If you look at Bitcoin, or cryptocurrency space, a lot more often, majority of the time, the prices are fluctuating, there's no volatility. And then there's a period of time where everyone is talking about it, there's huge volatility. It might be 1 month or 2 months, but majority of the year, even right now as we speak, there might be volatility here and there, but it's nothing that is making people talk about it that much. So with dollar cost averaging, it means more of your money is spent investing while the market is flat or it's like fluctuating low. And because you don't know when the price will start increasing, you are in the market, at least partially. When the price starts increasing, you are able to make a decision. So, okay, instead of dollar cost averaging, I can put more money, I can double instead of paying distributing my 1,000 over multiple months, instead of $50 every twice a month, you can say, I'll do $100 twice a month or $500 twice a month, because there's momentum that is picking up. So those are the things that you can use. This mimics a mini lump sum investment. Although it's not lump sum, but you are trying to take advantage of dollar cost averaging without really having issues with the downsides of it. And it means that you don't have the extreme returns, but you have good returns. And we'll just look at a case study here of time horizon, right? And in, was it when 2019, I was also trying to share information about cryptocurrencies with my friend and everyone around me. So I got some, I went to an AI conference, and a few of my friends said I should, suggested I should enter a competition, a hackathon there for hosted by Bloomberg. So I won some money. I decided, well, since they encouraged me to enter this competition, I'll just split it equally with them. However, the only condition is that I don't give you the rands. I will invest that money for you in Bitcoin and send you the Bitcoin. You have to open a wallet yourself, and then you can sell it immediately if you want, or hold it. And they decided, okay, we'll hold. So I said, okay. Now at that time, I was still solely a student. I was working part-time for as a data scientist also. But I decided, okay, 800 rands, yeah, it's not much, right? And they said, well, it's not much, so we'll leave it there. And the time when it was invested in, it was around 2019 there. And Bitcoin price there had just had gone through a period where the price had been low, and a lot of people were scared of the market, because Bitcoin previously, as you at the top here, had moved from 20,000 to 3,000. Imagine who has the guts to enter and say, well, Bitcoin has just dropped, and who has faith to say, okay, I think although the bubble has just burst, I think this technology is something that I can get behind, so I will invest. At least for me, I had that knowledge. So that's how I was able to introduce new people to the crypto space. So that 800 rands, end of April in 2020, the price dropped here, but it was now 1,158. That was like how many, couple of months, really. And then same amount, same money. And when this amount was here, he's like, my friend was like, should I sell? I was like, if you want to, that's all. And there are actually two people, actually, both of them 800 rands, and one actually, when I gave them the 800 rands, decided to invest their own money into this and buy more Bitcoin a bit, and they had more returns than the other one. But this one just kept it at 800 rand. And then in December, end of December, when 2020, Bitcoin was at 2,700, right? They are holding. And then you come to 2021, the holding went up until was it 8,000 to close to 10,000 at the time rands, and then the price dropped significantly. This is when there was a lot of like, oh, Bitcoin will go to zero. Also, a lot of people, when the price flat drops that much, they panic. A lot of panic selling, but because he had invested a while back, and Bitcoin, the rallies in Bitcoin had gone so far that even any drop is you don't mind it because you are not losing your initial investment. And then the price went up again and dropped. But the other thing I want you to notice is the Bitcoin drops over time are on average higher than the previous low. What do I mean by that? If you're looking at 2017, I hope you can see my mouse, 2017, 719 there, that was one of the drops that was heavy on people. And this one was also a lot. 2017, that's when I entered the crypto space. And this looked like a bubble. It was at the time. And then, although when I invested here, although the price kept dropping, I was fine because I'd invested at a lower price. And during this time, kept just throwing money there, whatever I have changed, not like, oh, invest everything, because I didn't know much, but you keep investing. But you see, this is the low at 3,000, and this is another low, higher than the previous low, another low. So at the time here, when you're looking at a shorter time frame, looking from here, right, in 2018 and 2017, you think, well, if you invest, you lose money. But on average, what I have noticed is that with Bitcoin, even if you invest 3 to 5 years, that's your average time horizon that has been working properly. In terms of you to recoup all your funds, should you have invested at the top. That's the thing that you take off here is if you invested for just 3 months or whatnot, it might be that you invested at the top, and then because of that, your returns are too low because it's a short-term horizon. And if you're looking at long-term investments, I think this is not financial advice, of course, but my thought process, if we treat cryptocurrencies as like we treat traditional investment way, once you invest with Allen Gray, whatever you fund, what you're doing, you tend to not just withdraw every year, or when the price drops, of the fund, you don't tend to withdraw. You just let it sit there and wait for a year, 2, or a lot of people say long-term, short-term, medium-term investments, which can be 5 years, 10 years, or whatnot. If you come with that mindset, then you can benefit from the returns, and also you can stomach the huge fluctuations. The downside is that you may not need to be looking at your portfolio that much, but you still need to keep following up a bit on what the advances, how the improvements are happening, because the top 10 cryptocurrencies tend to be safer because they are more established. But as you go down the list, they're more risky, high reward. I will just coin market cap. I'll just want to. So this is your. I don't know how to. Which other example? This is the. It's not a market. It's just. It's like your Bloomberg of cryptocurrencies, and it's called Coin Market Cap, right? And I will. Let's see. So here you have all your cryptocurrencies here, and you can see, which ones are the top established cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been in the top 2 for as long as I remember. And before Ethereum came, there were other cryptocurrencies, but those ones didn't survive that one. But this, with time, you get this, you get to cement which ones are the top cryptocurrencies with market cap, and those ones tend to be safer because they're more established. As you go down the list, so we talked about USD Tether, it's pegged to $1. A USD coin, $1. So you can see that you have these stable coins that you can, if you feel like there's too much volatility, you sell the stable coin you buy a stable coin and sell your Ethereum or whatever. As you go down, Cardano, Solana, all these things. So if you are looking for cryptocurrencies to say, okay, I'm interested, but I don't know which cryptocurrency to look at. If you stick to the top 10, it's usually more manageable. And it can be a good start, or even the top 2, and start exploring the other cryptocurrencies. And also there are many ways to see which cryptocurrencies can you add to your portfolio. So the other way is to look at Grayscale. Grayscale is a Bitcoin trust, but it's also introducing another. So Grayscale investments. So these are more traditional companies, but they are more on the cryptocurrency space, right? And you can see here, if you look at it, basic attention token, right, is cryptocurrency. And I'm using one of the browsers that I use. Instead of using Google Chrome or Firefox, I use a browser called Brave. And that browser, the way it goes is that it is privacy by default, means that they don't show you ads, but you can turn on ads and you get paid for those ads. So you are paid they pay you in basic attention token. So a lot of content creators create their content, and advertisers pay for advertisements, and those payments are then distributed to people who view ads. And you can also tip or pay content creators automatically on the browser. Say, well, my wallet, I want it to automatically pay according to the attention that I give. So if you spend most of your time on a particular website, that website or the content creator, so long as it's registered to receive this token, will receive. If you spend 10% of your time, 10% of your earnings will go to that company or that creator, whatnot. So that's the idea of basic attention token. But one way to see, okay, I'm not sure which cryptocurrencies to go with. You want to start with more established companies that have done their research and are actually investing for big investors. So Grayscale started with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and it's an American firm, and it's one of the established cryptocurrency firms where people come and invest it. They hold physical Bitcoin. When I say physical, but it's not like it's an EFT where you mirror the price of it. So you have Decentraland, which I mentioned earlier about virtual reality and metaverse. Chainlink is an example of interoperability blockchain, where it allows different blockchains to speak to each other. And Ethereum, Ethereum is a blockchain where other blockchains can be built. You have Solana. Also, this is another blockchain that tries to, it's a platform that tries to improve on scalability and speed of the blockchain. And then Stellar Lumens is just a currency. Zcash is privacy-centric cryptocurrencies. You cannot see which wallet sent, how much they sent to another wallet, or all those things. But then you have decentralized finance fund. these are DeFi cryptocurrencies. So it's a basket of cryptocurrencies that are applied either a lot of cryptocurrency or other things. And yeah, so basically that's how you can think of it. And also, how do you then use cryptocurrencies at the moment? You can, if you want to go on a vacation or buy products, PayPal allows you to do a lot of things with Bitcoin, but there are other platforms that allow you to spend your cryptocurrency without converting it to rands or dollars. So for example, here, you can book a reservation in Cape Town, and let's say Cape Town, and book flights from Joburg to Cape Town here, but you can also book international flights, and I'll just do a search. So this is one example of a platform, but there are so many. So Radisson Blue, I can say, okay, it's in dollars. I don't want to pay in dollars. I just want to pay in, what to call it? A cryptocurrency. You can change that, say, well, where is that? Let's see. So, sorry, I forget where it is. But basically, you can change here, change it so that it shows you in Bitcoin. But they make this dollars default because people understand it, a lot of things in those terms. So basically, that's the general gist of things. And I don't know if you have more questions, we can.
Yes, Mkupuli, as we close, I think on top, are you where you are talking about changing from US dollars? So where were you on that traveler? Yes. Is it where it says activate NFT or explore NFT? Is that not where you change?
So activate NFT. We talked about non-fungible tokens, right? So here, as a person who utilizes this platform, what happens is that over time, if you are those, like, I don't know, travel miles or like gold stars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay.
No, sorry.
No, that's fine. I think we have gone way over time, but I think it was worth it. Part of what we will do is normally we have a Zoom session where we have a question and answer, but I decided to give that time for you to give the practical examples so that people can actually follow through what we're talking about. And obviously, we took a lot of time in the beginning to be able to create the concept so that people can understand what we were talking about, what it is about. Because many people have say a lot of things, but we from an uninformed position. So we wanted to lay that groundwork for people to understand or have a basic view of the concepts behind it. It's a lot of data, a lot of vocabulary. So we would encourage viewers to search this for yourselves. But I think we have given you enough appreciation, both in terms of the concepts and in terms of how it works, how to get in, whether to mine, to stake, to buy, and how to hold the different investment strategies that you can look at. We gave you a few case studies, and I think this whets your appetite. For those who feel like the risk appetite, this falls within their risk appetite, this is something that you can do. So we really thank you, Mkupuli. And for those who want to engage with Mkupuli, you can just contact us. We'll be able to give you his details, and he can give you more clarity, and I think he can guide you along the way. So thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you taking your time, and we hope you'll be able to have some of our members reach out to you for help and guidance in the investment space.
Okay, no problem. My pleasure. If you have questions, I don't mind answering them, or even if you have doubts about certain things, I don't mind going through this journey with you. But all the information should be on the slide. The categories in particular, there are different industries if you're diversifying your portfolio. So all that information is there. So yeah, thank you for having me and giving me this opportunity to share this passion. And yeah.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And thanks, man, and God bless you. So everybody, thank you for joining us for Victory Business Forum for the month of March. So the month of March 2022. We pray that you have enjoyed being with us, and we hope that this helps you on your journey as you look at investing in this space. Thank you so much, and God bless. Amen.
Okay.
Thank you, Mkupuli. Thank you, everyone, and we see you later.
Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye.